plus you just hit the plus sign.
Okay, I'm gonna put that right here.
You see that the plus sign?
The big.
Yeah.
We on.
Okay. Peace, y'all. We're just getting set up and getting ready.
Yeah.
You can hit those boxes. You can hit the boxes now just to see what the boxes do.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
there you go. Mm-hmm.
You probably have to come this way, son.
Okay.
Well, that's straight. We see the TV behind us.
You have to cut that light out over there though so they can see. We got that light on the TV.
Actually, both of them. But then this one may be dark.
This one, no.
I think the lamp making it worse.
You put this up high enough and had it like.
I thought about that.
And
Yeah.
I got candles on.
And we got candles going.
You don't want me to see
It ain't gotta be bright.
I'll see that.
He bright man. He you know.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm good in the
That's,
dark.
yeah, that's
That's
good.
more normal of a
You
normal
good
light.
in the dark.
Yeah, I like being in the dark.
Yeah.
Alright, bye-bye.
Alright, baby. Anything over there?
I just thought about it. I answered my questions and I didn't. Well, we're not gonna tell them our answers, right? No, it's gonna go over the questions and why.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Cause they might not want to hear my answers.
Thank you, my sisters. Thank you, my
Yeah.
sisters.
Let me get the water
Mm-hmm.
before we come to them. We want to cleanse ourselves.
That's right.
So here you go. You want to do the sage or the Palo Santo. Hey, we just in preparation. Trying to get situated. We want you all to see how we cleanse ourselves energetically and emotionally. And before doing anything spiritual, it's good to cleanse yourself.
That's
just
right.
in case some negative energy
has attached itself to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right here we have some sage. Sage. Normally it comes on the big, it comes on the big bundle, but yeah, this is some sage, and you can tell we already been using it. And this here is some Palo Santo.
I like the smell of both. The smell don't bother me, but Palo Santo seems to not be as strong smelling as sage.
That's
so
true.
if you're sensitive like I am to stuff, you might be better doing the Palo Santo.
And so what we do is simply we light it.
Some people say to crack a window or crack a door when you're doing this, but for us, we just imagine a negative energy leaving. Energy
right.
can move through walls, so we don't always crack the door or the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then from there, once you get it, where the flames went out, then you can kind of go around your aura, all over your body. We normally do our chakra points.
I might need a little extra on my feet today, y'all. Okay.
And then that's it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
real simple.
Real simple. Real simple. You know, we go throughout our days.
Oh, and that happened to you all too. So if you don't have any sage or Palo Santo, the reason why we didn't do this before the video like we would do in the past is so that you all can remotely experience these things as well.
That's true.
I almost forgot to say that.
Yeah. And so as I was saying, you know, we go through stuff from day to day, and we always coming in contact with all types of entities and, spirits, and just, I mean, you know, you never know who you're encountering, or you never know what is trying to penetrate your energy field. So it's like crucially important to regularly sage yourself or cleanse yourself as well as your home. So yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So, and let me say this, because we don't have like a system. So today is November 11th, 2018, which means today is 11/11/11. Happy 11/11/11, people.
That's right.
And because we started the show at 11/11, that makes it 5/11s.
Yes.
So that is very spiritual. 5 represents grace. So the energy of grace is open right now under this portal.
Yes.
And so we just wanted to start. We were supposed to start off by saying that, but maybe we needed to cleanse ourselves first anyway, which is fine. We're gonna take one moment and we're gonna pour some libations, thanking the energies, guardian angels, spirit guides, and ancestors for their assistance.
That's right.
Because a lot of times we don't acknowledge their assistance because they're not in our light spectrum. And when you're in the beginning phases of being truly spiritual, you don't quite understand oneness, and you don't quite understand that when a soul leaves, it's still alive because we're immortal. And so sometimes we don't even think to do these things to give honor. So the deities, Buddha, Kuan Yin, Sekhmet, Hathor, these are just energies, okay? And so if you're trying to save your relationship, you would use a love energy. And some cultures gave love the name Oshun and gave characteristics. That's right. Really all it is energy. Everything is energy. And so that's why we have names and we have character. And so what we call deities, they are energies as well.
And Anubis as well.
And Anubis.
Yeah.
So so we're gonna pour some libations. If you want to turn the camera and let them see. Like the incense. And we ain't gonna forget to shout y'all out.
Yeah, we definitely gonna.
It's important for y'all names to be called. We're gonna do a 11/11 roll call. Once we get set up, we gonna shout everybody out. Drop and let us know where you from. When we finish doing this,
how do you flip?
We'll be able to
I forgot how to flip.
Shout everybody out. You have to stay within the camera one.
And then flip.
And then you flip it.
There we go. Okay.
This particular incense that I'm about to use is a meditation incense. It's supposed to be really good for meditation. So we're putting this one on just so we can really be focused tonight on what we're doing. As you can see, we have Brazilian chrysoprase here and selenite. Whenever you start your altar, if you already have your altar, you know this. You want to have all the elements. You want to have the elements of air, which is represented in the incense. You want to have elements of the earth, which is represented in the crystals. You want to have elements sometimes of fire, which is the candles. And we're going to add the element of water.
Ashe to all the ancestors.
Ashe to all our ancestors, known and unknown, who are benevolent and mean us no harm. Ashe to every energy and guardian angel that has assisted us. Ashe to all spirit guides who have assisted us both in here in flesh and have moved on to the next dimension. Ashe to each and every one of you.
Ashe,
Okay.
Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe just means power. So just another way of saying I give honor, thank you, and you're speaking spiritual power.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. And then I'll let you start with the show. I guess we'll get into the questions.
right off the bat. All right.
Can it tilt sideways too?
Like what? Yeah, like.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Just if you turn the whole thing.
Think that?
And yeah, I'm gonna hit this. They don't have to be able to see it. I was just wondering if it turns and if it'll tilt down. Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So I have a crystal bowl, and this crystal bowl that I ordered is specifically to help open and help flow energy. This crystal bowl is specifically for the heart chakra. So I'm going to get us started by hitting the bowl and allowing the harmonics from the frequency of this crystal bowl to just open any blockages and remove any interference, okay? And so that's what these bowls are used for, and for healing.
Definitely.
When we use the crystal bowl, we take deep breaths and imagine that you're inhaling, healing, and exhaling all of the things that have hurt you. And I'll do it one last time and keep that harmonic going for a moment for some of you, 'cause a lot of us went through a lot this year. So we might need a little bit more than one ding.
As y'all on the receiving end, if you can inhale and exhale as well with us.
The shout outs while you get the show topic.
Alright. So, y'all, we appreciate y'all bearing with us. Now you see some of the things that we do and some of the things that we have accustomed ourselves to doing. So, we were talking about just, you know what I'm saying, now in this particular point of awakening, in this particular point of righting our wrongs and being that we are ascending and our consciousness is raising. It came to us. Cam got a light code in regards to compassion. Mind you, it was something that we was dealing with and had been dealing with, but it came and a great revelation came to her in regards to compassion. And so, as you know, we dealing with our children, and this is it's a continual and complete work in progress for all of us, the whole family. And so we saw it important to also include it and extend it to all of you. And so because we believe and because we know without a doubt that these are some serious issues that go undealt with, it's important. And so it's called compassion activation. And you know what I'm saying? If you had an opportunity to get those questions, we put them on the site, on our blog spot. That's Remnants Gathering at blogspot.com. Those 11 questions. If you had an opportunity to as you started reading through some of them, if you really had an opportunity to answer them, how did that make you feel? You know what I'm saying? Because as we did it, it was like, wow, really learning.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the hardest thing is to look within, look at yourself, and realize just how wrong you have been, or realize how selfish you are. Because on the opposite side of being compassionate is selfishness. And so compassion activation. And so we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna talk about that briefly and talk about some more of the light codes that we've been getting in regards to us raising our vibration collectively and us growing and raising our vibration individually. And so that first question, what does compassion mean to you? It's real simple. What does compassion mean to you? You know, a lot of times we think we know what something is. Now I'm gonna say this for me personally. I know what compassion is, but as far as the definition of the term, I was somewhat, I wasn't directly spot on with it as far as what the actual definition of compassion is, although I know what compassion is. And I was making a connection, and I brought this to the attention as we was all at the table talking. I was like, you know what? That's the reason why sometimes we find ourselves not operating in compassion, because we know what it is, or we think we know what it is, but then we don't really know what it is. And they got me. They got me, and that was just the first question. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
because my definition, I could have said, oh, my definition is kind of matching the definition, but it wasn't. It was some important elements missing out of my definition of compassion. And so just that first question right there allows you to see yourself.
Exactly.
In regards to one specific thing. And so if you answered it perfectly, that's great.
Yeah.
You know,
kudos to you.
Yeah. It does not mean you don't need heart chakra healing, forgiveness, because compassion can always be increased.
That's right.
And so the first question, when my guides was giving it to me today, it came so clear. And I was like, is this just for us, for the family? They was like, no, it's for your galactic family too. So share this with them. And so as you go through those questions, I hope you all have it in front of you. For those of you, if you haven't done it yet, that's okay. The link is in the description. You can go into those questions anytime. That is private and personal. If you all want to mention some things throughout each question, we're going to go over the show and explain why it's important. If y'all want to chat with each other, that's okay. If someone could kind of moderate the room, because we're not able to see the comments right now, just kind of take some screenshots of some things that ain't right, and so we'll try to make sure we deal with that, because we don't want any negative energy. We don't want anything interfering with this healing work.
That's right.
We only want people who this resonates with to be here.
That's right.
Don't participate if this does not resonate with you. Okay? Because we're not here to push people into anything. Okay? So with that being said, could you open the note? So the second one, of course, is looking up the definition. And so I was like, sympathy. It's so simple. Compassion is sympathy in action. Some of the definitions said pity. And I was like, oh, okay, but sometimes I don't want pity. And I feel like it's a slight difference.
That's true.
So just break down the words and compare it to what you said it was, and that's going to help you to continue to grow in that area.
That's right.
So number 3.
Number 3 was, when was the last time you did something compassionate, just based off the definition alone? Now that you know what compassion is, when was that last time that you did something that was compassionate? You should be doing something every day.
My daughter couldn't think anything.
Yeah.
And she realized, because it was taking her a while to think of something, she was like, that mean it's been too long.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah,
exactly. That's the whole point of that question. Is so that you can really see yourself and really see how much are you living out of your heart.
That's right.
How much are you living and existing out of a place of love and compassion? If it's been a brief stint for you, then you know, okay, I need to work on it.
That's right.
If it was just today and you did something compassionate, that's
wonderful.
Great.
Yeah.
Now you begin to build on that because you're able to see and gauge where you are, an accurate measurement in your growth, in your spiritual ascension.
That's right.
Yeah, so
and if you are doing that, make sure you're making it a practice. You know, because the more and more we practice at something, the more and more it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what we want to do. This is a habit that is worth forming. Yeah. For all intents and purposes. The next question is, when was the last time you did something that was not compassionate? When was the last time you did something that wasn't compassionate? Was it today? Yeah. I mean, you know, again, I mean, this is some self-reflection that it's the ugly truth. I put it like that. It's just the ugly truth.
Yeah.
And it helps us to get these things right.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And as much as we want to grow and develop and be better, we have to deal with this part of it in order to become the best us.
Yeah. So that's just that just give you an idea of where you are again. So this is not to overly criticize yourself. It's just to see yourself. That the way that you transform is by the renewing of your mind. And so you're allowing your mind to be aligned with the truth about where you are as far as love and compassion. Now that you're able to actually see yourself, now you can begin to make adjustments to yourself.
That's right.
Not to be critical and judgmental to yourself.
What repetitive behaviors do you have need changing because they aren't compassionate towards others? I'll state that again. What repetitive behaviors do you have that need changing because they aren't compassionate toward others?
Sometimes it becomes our character because it's a behavior. You might have done it one time, and then after you got hurt, and all of a sudden now you find yourself pushing people away.
Yeah.
I used to, like, guys who I knew were really good guys, I would push them away because that one time that I had been hurt, so I would intentionally not be compassionate. And that was, to me, I was guarding my heart. Yeah. And I was protecting myself. Yeah. And it's okay to guard your heart sometimes, but you need to have discernment to know when to guard your heart and when to allow that compassion to flow. Exactly. It's just like respect. It's not to be given to everybody. Some things have to be earned. And with compassion is something that has to be discerned. And you have to discern when and when not to open up your heart chakra to someone.
That is so true.
Obviously, if it's not a healthy situation, you want to guard your heart. Right? But if the vibration is good, the more you open your heart and operate out of compassion and intentionally say, that behavior is not compassionate, I'm not going to do that this time. The more you do that, they say it takes 21 days to break a habit. So if you all do this work, like every day you're conscious of this work, 21 days from now,
you'll have broken that cycle
with a renewed mind.
That's right.
Because we're under the 11-11-11, it's amplifying everything.
Yes.
So now you can really get a breakthrough.
Up. Yes.
It's definitely turned up.
The next question says, can you remember anything that happened to you that hurt your feelings? This one right here was key. This was a big one. Yeah. At what point was the compassionate part of you, or what part, or at what point did your heart end up shutting down?
Yeah.
I mean, we all done been hurt.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of which instance it was that you got hurt that actually triggered you to completely shut down, to the point that you were in guard mode. Your guard's always up. And like Cam just stated, when your guard's up, especially if that's what you're being driven by, completely being guarded at all times, how are you able to allow your heart chakra to even flow? How is compassion flowing through you, flowing in you?
Can't connect with nobody.
You can't.
And that kind of leads me. Y'all look up an interview that Jay-Z did. We were hoping to pull up a clip of it and show it to you. We may not have time to do that. But just do your research, Google search it. Jay-Z does interview. Okay. So Ernest can find it, and we might not go through the whole thing, but we'll just go through some key questions that I think the editor of Time magazine was the one asking questions, really good questions. And what's crazy is he literally was talking about compassion being the main thing that he has had to learn, and cheating on his wife, and teaching his children that they don't need to learn things he learned to survive, but what they need is compassion, and they'll be able to get through anything in life if they have that. And we thought that was phenomenal, and so none of this was planned. It was just kind of like synchronicities, like boom, 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 boom. And I was like,
wow,
okay. we gotta do this show tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Now.
And the hurt part. Let me say this, ladies. I'm gonna deal with the divine feminine right quick. Ladies, because we have a womb, and because literally the whole universe is inside of us. Everything that lives on this earth that is a Homo sapien came through a woman. So that means the woman is the ultimate medium. And so when a woman is hurt, when a woman is scorned, that wrath is like none other. But many times that wrath is misdirected, and you're hurting people you're not intending to hurt, and you're hurting yourself because you're hurting. And so I just want to say, for women in the divine feminine, in order for you to truly walk in your goddesshood, you need that womb healing. That's just, Epsom salt baths, and just releasing that pain and that trauma out of you. Just envisioning light coming into you and purifying your womb, because the energy is blocked up in the womb. And so because we can conceive a whole child and give life, we have an ability to manifest thought forms, manifest old hurts and energies and things in a way that's so much bigger than men.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Now for the divine masculine, for the men, because you are the seed carriers. Okay? And so basically you have the lingam,
that's right,
which is a creator. It's a wand. And so with that being said, you can actually spread hurt by sleeping with women, and you have hurt inside of you. And some people call it a soul tie. And so you'll just be passing on that hurt with each woman you sleep with. Then let's just say you've never done a cleansing ritual for yourself to release these things, and you're married, happily married, and you don't cheat. Well, you're putting that energy in your wife's womb. So be conscious of that when you come together and be intimate. For us, the basis of practicing intimacy, what people would call sacred sex, spiritual sex, tantric sex, is being conscious of yourself energetically and emotionally. So I recommend for men, if you don't want to do the bath, you can do the shower. You can use Epsom salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt, sprinkle some on you and wash yourself down. And just imagine all of that stuff going down the drain, just coming off of you and out of you. And imagine light coming into you, and be cleansed of that.
Yeah.
And there are no other rules for this. Just keep it simple. The most powerful manifestations and purifying and cleansings are the simple ones.
That's right.
And it just requires our energy, our attention, and our intention
That's
in that.
exactly right.
And if you can focus, that's what you're doing. That's
Focus.
exactly what's going to happen.
That's right.
And you all will feel a complete difference in yourself, whether you're single or whatever situation you're in. We all need this.
Exactly. Oh, you said it. You couldn't say it better. Yeah.
And so
it's like, don't bring that mess over here.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah.
And people say black women seem so angry. I even say it. When I go in a store sometimes and I see East Indian women, Native American, Hispanic women, and black women, and I'm not gonna lie, between black women and all the other races, I do see a lot more anger. And I was like, what's going on there? But most black women were never taught about their womb and its capability, what it does, how it holds energy, and that it needs healing. And so for us, because we're descendants of slaves, trauma has been passed down to us epigenetically, energetically, within us. And so even before you're born, you already have this veil of energy of hurt over you. So yes, a lot of black women are angry. But once we begin this healing, we will see, this is why the black community to us is important, because our community has went through so much very visually. You know, what happened in the Holocaust, a lot of us didn't get to see that, but we have got to see the things that black people have experienced. And so with that being said, as the healing energies and light codes are coming because of the planetary alignment and the shifts and the time we're in, we're going to see that healing taking place within the black community. And that's what's going to make it real for some people who are on the fence, or for some people who have not awakened from the matrix yet. And when you begin seeing those differences, and you begin seeing black men and women come together and have happy relationships, healthy relationships, they communicate in a healthy way, they're raising their children together, that's going to be healing for the whole world.
That's a wonderful vibration.
So you kind of get to see the underdog, so to speak, finally get some healing, and is able to just be authentic in who they were created to be, and not operate out of trauma and hurt.
That's right.
And so this doesn't mean other races have not experienced hurt or pain, and don't be angry. But I just wanted to point out that angry black woman thing. There are movies out about it. Tyler Perry, he do movies about it. You know, I mean, every black TV show is about a black woman being angry and hurt.
That's going.
I'm not going to even get into the media agendas, because it's so clear if you have eyes to see. But I just want to say, this is to help release any hurt and trauma, even if it's something that happened to your mom or your father and was passed down to you, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Number 7, have you forgiven that person? Have you forgiven them for what they did to hurt you? Because that's also equally important. We got to be forgiving. We got to be able to forgive. You know, how can you move forward? You know, it's ironic, because we want to be forgiven. When we wrong somebody, we want their forgiveness. Sometimes instantaneously. Well, just forgive me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You know, and think that it doesn't take time. But with everything, it has a gestation period that it has to go through in order to get that full healing. And so that's important. We gotta forgive. We gotta be willing to forgive.
And forgiving them, you know, means forgiving yourself as well, because you took part in it. Whether you were the passive or the aggressive in a situation.
That's right.
So just know that anytime you think of somebody you need to forgive and release from your heart, then it's usually something about yourself that you need to forgive yourself for. So if someone molested you, and let's just say you've been angry for a really long time about it, and it has impacted the way you deal with that particular gender of people, even though they weren't the ones that did it to you, well then on that list it would be forgiveness for everybody that have come along the way after I was hurt in that way. And then to forgive myself and release that from myself as well, because a lot of times pain causes you to pass on more pain. So just know that forgiveness goes both ways, and it's really simple. We have a easy mantra, you know, that we can do, and that's next. I don't know if I wrote it here. It's wrote down in the show notes. I have it in there.
Yeah.
But okay, so it's just you know, giving forgiveness for that and just saying I release that from me.
Exactly.
Insert the name there and say I release that from me. I release that from me. And
that individual.
Exactly. And
yeah,
you don't need
yourself.
them to know.
That's
and you
right.
don't need them to have asked for forgiveness, nor do you need them to have changed to feel that they don't deserve forgiveness.
That's right.
Forgiveness is for you to heal,
That's right.
not for them.
That's right. Yep. What is one small thing you can do to be compassionate on a day-to-day basis? What is one small thing that you can do to be compassionate on a day-to-day basis? That requires you to dig deep, you know. And start with yourself. And what I mean by that is start with yourself. It's always something internally that can easily get in the way of us even being in the place of operating with compassion, to even see the next person, to even see their need, to even see that they in distress. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's just our own blockages. That's our own I'm so tunnel visioned and focused on what it is I got going on and what I got to do that I don't see the next. I mean, we, for whatever reasons, we will pass by people and clearly see them in need. And we say it all the time, and I don't want to go into the next question, but that is what brings us to the next question as it relates to putting yourself in a place and what it is you can do to be compassionate on that day-to-day basis. And so the next question is, how can you show yourself more compassion? How can you show yourself more compassion?
That was hard for me.
Yeah.
Growing up, I dealt with a lot of narcissistic abuse, every form of abuse, emotional abuse, and nothing I did was ever good enough, no matter how hard I tried. And so over the years, that caused me to be the kind of person where I have more compassion for everybody else than I do for my own self. And so for me, this was difficult to look at because I realized I don't show myself enough compassion. Like, it's crazy because if you suffer any kind of hurt or abuse, their voice records in your mind, but when it plays back, it sounds like you.
That's right.
So you think that it's a thought that's coming from you, so you're not going to look at it like an enemy that needs to be dealt with like an enemy.
Exactly.
And so I would hear, you know, you're not, no, it don't matter if you're in pain. You know, you're being selfish. They need you to come and take them to the grocery store, and even though it's probably two other people that could do it for them, you being selfish. And so this has been programmed in my mind. You're selfish. You don't care about nobody but yourself. And that voice sounds like me, and I think it's like my higher self or something trying to help me and correct me, when in actuality it's not even my own judgment of myself that's accurate and authentic. It's a lie.
That's right.
And so that's what hurt and abuse does. It puts lies in our mind, turns them to thought forms. These thought forms pretend as if they are us speaking, that is our thought, but it's not. So as you learn, if you happen to be someone who can relate to what I'm saying, as you learn how to be compassionate with yourself, make sure that when that voice, whatever it was recorded in your mind, comes, that you shut it down and you said, no, I rule my mind, body, and soul. That thought is not of me. That thought is not beneficial to me. I cast that thought down. And then whatever the truth is that's the opposite of that thought, say it out loud.
Exactly.
And for my example, the truth is I am in too much pain to be driving. It would not be safe right now with me like this to be behind the wheel. You are wrong and you are a liar, and I do not accept that. And just to prove it, I'm finna lay my head down and rest.
That's
and I'm
right.
not gonna answer the phone when they keep calling. I already told them I ain't feeling well.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
ignore the rest of the calls and messages
That's
because
right.
I need to be in the vortex of what is authentic, that's good for me right now.
Yep. That was good. That was good. Oh. Number 10. Write down one way to adjust yourself the next time you realize that you was not compassionate to someone. Write down one way to adjust yourself the next time you realize you were not compassionate to someone.
This just gonna make you be
Make that
conscious
mental
of
note.
it.
Yeah, make a mental note. And like we're saying, just self-reflect. You got to self-reflect all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like it's a lot, but it's not if we just kind of like slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
Slow down and begin to pay attention to details.
Yeah.
There's always opportunity. I know I was telling myself as we was going through this, I'm gonna give you just one little point. I was telling myself to accept when I need help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Accept the fact that you're not going to always be vibrating in a positive way. That's just normal. We go through that, you know, me and Cam go through that, and we talk about that. She helps to hold that mirror up. You got to have somebody that you can be accountable with. And we're talking about
even if that somebody is yourself, your higher self, or your guides,
exactly.
that's totally okay.
Exactly.
If you don't have a twin flame at this moment, or
exactly.
sibling, or somebody you can talk to.
But yeah, you need that accountability to be able to see yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about, y'all. This is all about recognizing and identifying those opportunities when we're missing the point to be compassionate, or we are if we're not missing the point to be compassionate, we're just in that selfish state altogether. And so, you know, we got to be mindful of that. We got to be very observant of our own actions,
because you can't
and our
manifest
thought
anything
processes.
positive out of a place of that place.
Yeah, and that's where after we go through these questions, that's where we're going. Yeah.
I think that was the last one. Oh, one.
The last question is, in what way have you noticed your ego sabotage you from being compassionate? In what way have you noticed your ego sabotage you from being compassionate?
That ego's something else, because their ego don't like change.
Nope.
And if you have, because of hurt, you've been guarded and closed off, and heart chakra just been locked up, throat chakra locked up, and you can't communicate how you really feel, the ego comfortable with that.
Yep.
But when you start trying to change
nothing
it
wrong
and
with you.
adjust it,
Ain't nothing wrong with you.
here come the ego.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do no soul work.
Right.
Why do you need to do this? You
Right.
don't need to use any sage.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to take any salt baths. You good just the way you are.
Yep.
And again, this voice will sound like a voice that's there to help you.
That's right.
But in fact, that voice is there to keep you anchored in a certain vibration that's not conducive for where you see yourself going.
That's right.
So being able to live out of your heart chakra, being able to live out of a place of compassion, being able to live out of a place of love, that's true godhood.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why in the Bible said that God is love and love is God.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we say that we're gods, what we mean by saying that is that we vibrate out of love. And even if it's a time our vibration is low, that's when you make these adjustments.
Exactly.
That's when you go back to what you wrote down and say, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I said the next time that this happened, I was going to do this
Exactly.
to control this vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And just wrangle that thing back. Be like, you know what? That wasn't compassionate. I apologize. You accept my apology. That's one simple thing you can do if you catch yourself being selfish or just not being compassionate to someone.
Yeah.
So we hope y'all feel the healing coming from this, and So we're going to get into the show notes that we wrote down. And I know that y'all feeling all kinds of things right now going through what you wrote down. Okay. And, you know, I just have to say, this is not for everybody. Work like this. You are here right now with us because you were called for this moment. This is sacred divine timing. And the reason we call it compassion activation, because as the guides had given it to me, they said this is a light code activation. And it's kind of like a physical trainer. And you hear he's the best physical trainer there is. But you feel like you pretty healthy. And he found a muscle in your body that is weak and needs working out and is super sore. And you're like, I thought I was healthy. I thought I was strong. I ran track. I did this. I played ball. I did this. I work out. But the physical trainer, because of his experience, he was able to find a weak area to help you strengthen it. And so it is a light code activation. This is compassion activation because this is a muscle, not the physical heart muscle, but the energetic heart muscle, the energy center that they call the heart chakra. This is allowing you to strengthen that muscle so that you can use that muscle. The heart is the strongest. It gives out the strongest electromagnetic frequency out of everything in the body. The heart, the frequency of the heart electromagnetically, some people have tested it and say that it can even reach 30 feet away from you.
Yeah, it's a strong feel when it's at its height.
Yeah. So just imagine walking around with an energetic feel in your aura, strong like that. That means you don't even have to say anything. Just your presence alone and operating out of love is going to impact everywhere your feet touch the ground. So that is what we are activating tonight.
Yes.
And that's why we're calling compassion activation.
Yes.
And I'm going to share one more thing with you all while he pull up the actual show notes that are for us to make sure we don't forget anything. But one other thing I wanted to get into was the body is also being upgraded. That might be the first thing on the list. But the body is being upgraded right now. And some people are like, body being upgraded? What do you mean? Well, if you don't know about the Mandela effect, physicians, doctors, surgeons, nurses, and even people, just regular people who like to read or maybe went to school and love science and anatomy, we're noticing changes in the body. If you hold your hand up in front of you, your thumb can go down much closer to your wrist than it ever could. And so when I first did it, I remember my hand, I could make a perfect L with my hand. Because, you know, we would do this, tell somebody they're a loser. You know what I'm saying? We would do that. And one day I was looking and I was like, wait, why my thumb down so low? It don't even look right. It used to be this as far as my thumb would go. Maybe there. Now my thumbs go all the way down there to my wrist. And that might seem like a very minor change. My hands are so see.
Yeah.
So the harder something is to believe, usually the truer it is. You can see, you used to could not see past your ear peripherally. Now, I can see a speaker back there in the corner of the wall looking forward, and I can still see that this speaker is there. My peripheral has expanded. Another thing that's changing, our cranium is changing. We have holes, about 3 or 4 holes here, 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 and here, here. And some people don't notice these changes. Some people say, no, those holes have always been there. But you can even talk to your own physician. How about if you see a doctor that specializes in sinus infections and say, well, how many lymphatic drainage areas do we have in the brain? And most of them are going to say no, because in the last timeline, we did not have areas of lymphatic drainage in those areas of the face.
Right.
Another major change, the liver. The liver is much bigger than it used to be in humans. Okay, and there are people who have videos where they really took the time and searched for residual of the old reality. And the reason our liver is bigger now is because our environment extinction level. These minor changes are being made to our bodies, okay? And the Bible talked about this time happening and said that we will receive a glorified body. And so It's not going to happen overnight. It's happening little by little. And not just the physical body, but even the heart. If you pull up a picture of the heart, of the body, the heart now is shown to be dead center of the chest. However, we all know that our heart has always been over to the left of our chest, which is why when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we don't go here, we go here. And so these things are changing. Even our rib cage, the way it's formed, is a little different. And at the base of your spine, now it almost looks like a serpent tail at the base of the spine, and it wasn't like that before. And so all these things are happening because you know a lot of nerves in the spine, and a lot of the energy is controlled throughout the spine. So these changes are happening to help us to become less dense and a better, higher definition of ourselves, to be 4D, to get into the 5D. So 11-11 tonight, this is the 4D bridge that's going to connect us to operating in a 5D frequency and being in that higher vibration. This is why we're changing our diets. This is why all of a sudden we're not wanting to use deodorant. We want to just rub some baking soda under our arm because you find out deodorant got aluminum in it, and you don't want to be toxic. Like stuff you didn't even care about last year, all of a sudden you care about.
That's so true.
To the point where you'll walk around a little musty just to not be rubbing aluminum under your arm. I do it all the time. You know, I'm more worried about the aluminum making me toxic than you being offended by my smell. Because again, I need to have compassion for self.
That's
and
right.
I'm not going to poison myself to make you comfortable. Cover your nose or leave. I might be a little funky right now, but ain't no aluminum getting put in my body, and that's helping me.
She ain't going there. Look, she got some compassion for herself enough to be like, let me go in here and watch. Yeah.
I could watch up if I need to, but I'm not putting on no aluminum under my arm, that's for sure.
Right, yep. And also, another change that can be seen during this particular time is like what we were talking about the crystals. Yeah.
Take a picture of your skin while you're out in the sunlight, and no matter what color you are.
Yeah.
Take a picture of your skin in the sunlight, and like literally, you can see the crystals in your skin.
Because you know we made up of crystals.
We made up of crystals.
Yeah.
And so what's happening is genetically and on a molecular level, these light codes, and Delta Blair and the likes of Phil Valentine, they've been telling us about this for years, using real hardcore science to explain this. So this stuff ain't, fairy tale. And so what's happening is we're becoming more crystalline.
That's right.
Versus more carbon-based life forms. And so that's why a lot of us can't eat dense food anymore. You know, you try to eat stuff you used to eat, and you feel miserable.
Exactly.
You feel so heavy, it's miserable.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, because we're going into a less dense frequency. And so for people who aren't ascending, they can go and eat the dense food and not have a problem with it because their consciousness is in a dense place.
That's right.
And so everything is energy. Food is energy. And if you're eating something that's lower than the vibration where you are, it's going to let you know because it's going to make you feel bad.
That's
okay?
right. That's right.
And so the whole 4D, 5D bridge, rainbow bridge, and what does that mean? That stuff was so foreign to us this time last year. And now it's our everyday talk. It's, babe, what's going on with you? Seem like your vibration a little low. I hit him with that today. Babe, how you feeling? What's going on? Your vibration seem a little off. It's like, I'm fine. I'm good. I mean, no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
All to check myself and be like, oh yeah, my vibration was low.
And then when I brought his vibration up, just by getting him to talk, getting him to ask himself questions. And so then I played one of the light code videos that we watched from the channel DNA Activation and DNA Awakening. And it was resonating with him a lot, especially about the crystals on your skin, that you can see it in the sunlight and you take a picture of your skin or whatever. And I could just see his face changing, his aura changing. And so I said, babe, feel yourself, do a body scan now. And I was like, how do you feel now? And he was like, yeah, I feel my vibration is higher. And so I was like, see? So if you can feel that it's higher, that means it actually was lower, but you were disconnected from your emotional body. And when he's disconnected from his emotional body, I can't feel him. He can be hugging me, and it feels like I'm hugging a brick wall. because he's disconnected from his emotional body. And so this is what hurt
So
and old
important,
traumas do to us. We cannot be disconnected from our emotional body. Under the 1111 portal, this is the time right now to bring all 7 bodies together as one.
Yes.
Your emotional body, your mental body, your spiritual body, your physical body, you know, your energetic body.
Bringing all your chakras.
Bringing it all to one. Aligning
Yeah.
all the energy centers in your body we call chakras.
That's right.
And allowing you to operate in a wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what being holy really was about. That's what the Bible was really talking about. Those that he's going to come for. Those who are holy. Those who cloth has been washed and it's not stained. Right? And that doesn't mean people who go to church or pay tithes or people who do everything perfect and follow the 10 Commandments. We misunderstood that because our consciousness could not retain that information. But
That's
what
right.
they were saying was that you are washing yourself pure with the light, with the white, purest light, the wavelength energy that is coming here now to transform you. The people who are willing to do the soul work, willing
That's
to look
right.
at themselves,
Right.
willing to give forgiveness and say I'm sorry, and the people who are open enough to say, you know what, I am gonna get buy a crystal from them. I really don't know. Let me just see.
Yep.
Just being open-minded and saying, okay, maybe a crystal can be a help to me. Those little bitty things add up to something huge. And none of this is happening by chance. This is sacred and divine. And so under 1111, we're able to maximize and manifest times infinite. It is infinite what you can manifest right now. So this
That's
is
right.
why we wanted to teach you all how to scan your thoughts,
Yep.
scan your energy,
Yep.
scan your behavior, scan the things that you have done, and make the adjustments necessary so that from this point forward, you're only going to create in your reality that is for the utmost good
That's right.
of you and mankind together.
That's right.
So if we're having negative thoughts right now, today, that means that you're giving birth to a monster
Of
negativity that you probably ain't gonna be ready to deal with.
That's right.
When it comes back to chickens, always come to rooster, always come back to crow.
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
and so so that's why it was important for us to kind of break that down before we get into the rest of the segment.
Yeah, and I just want to add, it's important if you just getting on, and you happen to come into this a little late. It's all about manifesting that of your desires, and this is one of the things that will help you to manifest your desires. That is starting to have gratitude and especially being a compassionate person, operating in love. When you begin to see these things line up in your life, you will manifest more. You will manifest more. You'll manifest.
Quick.
Yeah, you'll manifest. Oh, man, you said it. You'll manifest
We got some stories for y'all, boy. We've been manifesting like crazy.
astronomically quick. Yes, yes.
I
Like
that. Astronomically.
yeah, like turn around, like whoo,
I promise.
Yeah. But that's important.
Yeah.
That's important, especially where we are now.
Yeah.
People are waking up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, everybody, in most cases, they want success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want success, whether you in a relationship, you want success in that relationship. You want to feel, you know what I'm saying? I would say that you want to feel a love like you've never felt. You want to, hopefully you want to give all the love you can give, but then you want to be receiving all the love there is to receive.
Yeah.
And so the ways to do that is everything that we've been talking about. Unlocking, making sure that you're not locked up in any particular area. Making sure that your heart chakra is not locked.
Oh, I'm glad you said this. So start decreasing the amount of sugar that you're intaking, because it was revealed to us today that sugar not only affects the physical body, but it affects the energetic body in a way that the government and the cabal and the powers that be, they know this. That's why they're putting it in everything. That's why they made eating birthday cake a ritual to do on your birthday, eating ice cream. All of this packaged sugar and stuff that's not even need sugar, it's not something sweet, but sugar is in it. and corn syrup, another form of sugar, genetically modified
Yes.
corn sugar. And so they're doing all of this because they know how it impacts us, and every entity does not want us to succeed at this.
That's right.
And what sugar does, sugar locks up the chakras.
Yes.
It locks up those energy centers.
Yeah.
And what happens, it accumulates within the body. And so even though we know that it has a bad effect on the physical body, on the emotional body as well.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just going to be all over the place because it causes dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that we know can cause cancer and diabetes and all those diseases,
Mm-hmm.
basically what that says is that this particular thing has a very low frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And it opens you up to have these diseases because of the low frequency.
That's right.
And so the entities that are attached to these different elements are more easier able to get into your body, cause sickness, and even cause emotional distress and a lot of things like that. So that's why when we get stressed, we go to sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That's why on TV, when they get stressed, they go to wine, which is full of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And they make it seem like that's going to make you better. Or you're stressed out because your boyfriend broke up with you, let's eat a whole pint of ice cream. If you ever wonder why they push that so much on us,
Mm-hmm.
that was revealed to us today by Source. And we were just so thankful to be able to share that light code with you all.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you said that about the sugar. You know, when you think about your children, when you think about young people, when they get a sugar overload, what happens to them? Boom, they have a boost of energy. They're just like, you know, seem like they're all over the place, crawling up the walls, you name it, can't sit down, just busy. However, as you think about a child, and especially from the age of up to maybe like 6 or 7 years old, they're still in that free state of being so imaginative. You know, their creative imagination is just, you know, through the roof. You know what I'm saying? They can entertain themselves all by themselves. But as you start to get older, because of the amount of sugar that has accumulated, and you continually, I mean, you know, like as Cam stated, you may take one meal. We're talking about your beverage got sugar in it. We're talking about a couple of the servings of whatever it is you eating got sugar in it. So
I had to throw away some of my vitamins because it had a whole lot of sugar in it.
vitamin.
Yeah, and
That's
it had
crazy.
like organic on the front.
That's
Had me
crazy.
feeling like, you know, I'm finna be, you know,
Yeah.
taking some stuff good for me, and I turn it
Yeah.
around, it's 23 grams of sugar,
Sugar.
and I'm like, why is that
Yeah.
even necessary?
Yeah.
So we know sugar sometimes can help things to metabolize better, and
Yeah.
you know, the turpentine protocol to get things out of your body, parasites and stuff. And they say put the turpentine on a sugar cube. If you're trying to cure cancer likes sugar. So put this with the sugar. We know about that, but we're talking about when you're consuming it and just consuming it.
Yeah.
A daily, day-to-day consumption.
Exactly.
So try to just wean yourself
So
down
I
as
should-
much as possible. Use
Drink plenty of
stevia
water,
and
y'all.
things like that.
Clean water. Drink
Yes.
plenty of clean water.
Plenty.
That's going to do wonders
Yes.
for you spiritually too.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it'll definitely help your spiritual
Yes.
body to come into sync and come online like it should.
Yes. Bobby Hemmett said that he was drinking 4 gallons of water a day at one point. He said his guys had led him to do that. And Bobby Hemmett said, man, his dreams got just so lucid to where
yeah.
he felt like he was time traveling, and he would
Yeah.
go back to the 80s and be at a party in the 80s, and
Yeah.
then the next dream, and he was just jumping through different decades when he would
Yeah.
lay down.
Yeah.
And I said it makes sense though, because water upside down, matter, matter. And so water, people say water is extraterrestrial. It's not from this planet, but it was put here to nurture growth on this planet. And so water is very metaphysical for a whole lot of reasons.
Exactly.
And you can look at the science of Imato, who did the water experiment, where when you would say
Oh, yeah.
love and
Yeah.
freeze the water, it would be this beautiful crystalline structure. But if you would say hate, then the crystalline structure would look dissonant and chaotic.
Yeah.
And so and we're made mostly of water. So guess what? That's why all of these things are working. What you have done tonight is going to work for you astronomically,
Yes.
as Ernest
yes.
would say.
Yes. Yep. And so we're gonna talk a little further. There were some more things that came to us as we have been dealing with this whole particular subject as of late, and so one of the things, yeah. You want
I've read it a few times, so it's kind of almost
okay.
in me.
Yeah.
So the number one way to access abundance, like there are a lot of other ways, but I'll say one of the top 5 ways that most people don't know about, because we didn't learn about it until today. We knew about your life number. You know, we knew about your zodiac and your lucky number, things like that. But we didn't know that there was something called achievement number. And the achievement number is based on the day and the month of your birth. And so what you do, we put the link on Blog Talk, Remnants Gathering at blogspot.com. You can go there and click the link and look at it. And so for us, once we added, like his birthday is April 11th, 4 and 11, that's 15. Then you're gonna simplify to one number. So 1 plus 5 is 6. So Ernest's achievement number is 6. And so we're literally sitting in the car together doing this. And I'm like, let me do my achievement number right quick, because we don't want to talk about it and we didn't even do it ourselves. And we didn't see if the information resonates with us according to this number.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm born September the 24th. 9 plus 2 plus 4. I'm like, hold on, that's 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. Babe, we got the same achievement number. And so this was something new we learned about ourselves. It just confirms our bond and our mission as one, being twin flames, being soulmates, sitting here on the mission of love and reconnecting people. And so that was so beautiful in that moment. It was also powerful because it's the number 6. Like that's the number we feared when we were in religion. And so it was just real liberating. So when we read the number 6, and so go ahead and do your achievement number, and after the show, click the link and go and read it and see if it resonates with you as well.
Okay,
I'm going to let him read with ours.
Okay, so once again, in order to come to what your achievement number is, you're going to take your birthday, your month, and the day, and you're going to add it up. And let's just say if it's a 2-digit number, then you're going to add those 2 numbers up. And then you want to break it all the way back down to a 1-digit number. Okay? So we had 15. We take the 15 and split that up and add those 2 numbers, 1 plus 5, and then it comes to 6. So whatever your number is, especially if it's a 2-digit number, then that's what you're going to add up in order to come to your achievement number.
Yeah.
Okay. So our achievement number is both 6. And so this is what we learned as it relates to what the 6 is. It's linked to conscientiousness. The number 6 is linked to conscientiousness, meaning that you're more apt to be in tune and conscious of your surroundings, the things that are going on,
and how you're impacting them.
Exactly.
And that links back to the work we're doing.
Yeah, that's
and we were given this before we found out about the achievement number.
Yes.
So shout out to Higher Self, DNA Ascension, DNA Awakening channels, because listening to their channels, I think, opened us up to receive these things.
That's right. But now if you have achievement number of 6, also, you may find that perfectionism or a desire to be disassociated from the mistakes of others makes you cautious about responsibility.
And that's so true.
Yeah.
We got to work on that. Sometimes we're not putting out videos because we want to be perfect.
Yeah.
We don't want no noise in the background.
Yeah.
We want the setting to be just lit exactly the way we want it.
I think think that's
It's
a part of
amazing.
our old Christian programming. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You want to do everything with a spirit of excellence. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's like crossing every T and dotting every I, and something sticking out right there. Get that off of there. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, that whole perfection, and then
And trying to be right before Christ calls us to be perfectionists too,
that's so
because
true.
we would constantly repent
Yeah.
and do the rituals to try to be righteous,
Yeah.
and we would fall again, and so we got obsessed with perfectionism.
We're both individuals of artistry, and so it's almost like that's a given that you want to be a perfectionist.
Yeah.
She's a makeup artist. She does makeup. Who wants their makeup to look any kind of way? No.
I
You
got
want
a little
your
makeup on, y'all.
you want your makeup to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do graphic design. I try to pay attention to the little minute details. I mean, it means something to me. But however, as we learned, according to our achievement number, for us, we don't need to be as perfectionately driven as we may have thought we should be.
We
And
just
so
need
that's
to push
important.
out the content, We just need to do.
That's
And
right.
so that's what we doing tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about, like she said, it's about just sharing this. It's about
Yeah.
getting it out.
Being conscientious of how we can impact others.
That's right. Yes, that's that conscientiousness. Yes. All right. Letting. Let's see.
Letting go of it.
Letting go of perfectionist tendencies is essential if you are to become happier and wealthier.
And I've been getting on him about that. I've really been getting on him like, babe, we're trying to manifest abundance. We're trying to just be in the vortex of being joyful no matter what's going on. Like, you stressing me out right now trying to make sure that the R in Remnant's Gathering is perfectly aligned with the E. Babe, it's probably a nano centimeter difference. It's okay, babe. It ain't gotta be perfect. They understand.
Yeah.
They just need us to do what our souls are here to do, to activate them so that they can go forward and do what they need to do. They don't need us to be perfect. They don't need our blog. I always misspell stuff. He'd be like, babe, you need to proofread. And I'm like, I did proofread. And he'll still find a mistake. And and I'm like, babe, just relax just a little bit.
That's me majoring in the minors.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So at some point, I'm just gonna be like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's out
okay.
there.
Look,
Yeah, we
y'all
did.
made a mistake, but here you go. She was trying to type witch and it say bitch. Excuse us. But we're trying to be in the vibration of our achievement number.
That's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Mm-hmm.
But I ain't gonna call nobody no bitch though.
Yeah. But yeah, that's true though. You gotta let go of that perfectionist.
Or whatever your thing is, just let it go.
Yeah.
This is the energy is set up now for it to be easier to let go.
Exactly.
Okay.
11.
Yeah. That's a portal. So that means now we can receive stuff and let go of stuff easily, because the veil between our world and the unseen world, the spiritual world, is thin to non-existent.
Yeah.
And this only happens every 99 years, but we're kind of in an enigma type situation, because the last time this happened was in 2009. The 11/11/11, November 11, 2009. I remember a whole lot of people got married that day, and it was all on the news, and people thought that number was lucky. And I remember being a Christian being like, that is bullshit. Them people is crazy. And here we are. But 1910 was the last time we had the 11/11/11. 1910 leading up to 1911. Yeah. And so, with that being said, this is something that you don't usually experience one time in your lifetime, but we're given a chance to experience it twice. And that go back to the grace that's available for us. Remember I said the number 5 represents grace, and so that's why we did 11/11/11/11 today with the time and the date and everything. And so that grace right there is open and available. So if you messed up something, or you need to revive a relationship, whatever it may be, you are able to do that.
That's so true. That's so true. Okay.
The clip. You want to try to find it?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll talk while you look for it.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna be going through the roll call. If that's okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna he's gonna pull up the Jay-Z interview. Some of y'all might be like, Jay-Z, why y'all, that man had a shirt on with a statement from Aleister Crowley on it, and his wife then did some magic and made her drummer's cat die. I get it, y'all. I got a whole lot of videos about celebrities and Beyonce and Jay-Z, and really, to be honest with you, man, I just want to just put out there the energy of being apologetic, because I was trying to decode something. But I was decoding it from my own experience at the time. And so the decoding is accurate still for people who are in that place.
Right.
But for people who are in a higher vibration right now, that information does not resonate with them anymore, so it doesn't resonate with us. But we leave that content up because people who are where we were, that's going to resonate with them, and each thing helps you get to a new level.
Exactly.
So we're not going to take that stuff down. But we just want to let you all know that we're not aligning ourselves with that, demonizing them. And we're going to do a video and explain why we are no longer demonizing Beyonce and Jay-Z. Not saying they perfect. That family up there. Lucretia Taylor, Indiana. Shout out to you in Indiana. I love it. Tampa Bay. Oh, I love it. Florida, Adrian Cummins. Shout out to you, Adrian. Yes, we just got back from Florida. Florida is such a great place to visit. Hey, Terica, 901 Goddess. I have to remind myself that Malaire_righteous is you, Terica. But yeah, 901 Goddess, that's what I'm talking about. Indianapolis, Indiana, Brandon. Yes, that's what's up. I haven't been there yet either. We're going to have to visit all of these places. I'm so glad that you in here with us. You give us so much love, Brandon. We appreciate you. Latasha's in Florida. Let's see. Wow. Natasha Bonita said we got the same setup as she does, because she had just did a setup too. And it's very similar. Orville Scott says you guys are key players in the future. We received that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Gratitude for that.
Thank you, Orville.
How can I donate again? Okay, Orville. So just go to PayPal and type in, I think it's under cam2479@gmail.com. It's still under my personal email. We'll eventually change that. But if you want to give a donation, you all, just type in cam, KHAM 2479@gmail in the PayPal app or on the site, and you should see a picture of me and Ernest come up. We thank you. We never ask for donations, but we would accept them, and we would take that donation and most likely use it to continue doing these shows, buying crystals, getting things. We do got some products too for you all tonight we're going to show you. So thank you for that. And also the healing that I'm doing homeopathically is very expensive. And so any donations will go to me being able to continue to travel to these different homeopathic doctors and healers and so much stuff. One day I'll get more into that journey, but we're doing a documentary on that, so we'll be posting that soon. So thank you so much. Okay, he says send you an email. I'm going to take a screenshot of your email, Orville, so I won't forget. Okay, yes, Crystal Healing. Let's see. Shout out to Flex Washington. Yeah, I'm glad it felt right to you. Yes. And Natasha, we have stones and crystals that we order. A lot of times we get them for a really good price. So if it's something you want, if we can get it for you, we'll get it. And, send you a picture of it. And you can just send it to our PayPal or Cash App or however you want to do it and get that crystal to you. Okay. Yeah, I got a shirt on to say Queen Natasha. and it wasn't even intentional. I just grabbed the shirt out the closet and put it on. This is funny how stuff just lines up. Okay, let's see. Who else is in here? Man, there's a lot of y'all in here with us tonight. This is love. I hope y'all feeling the vibration right now. I hope that we were able to bring y'all vibration up and bring y'all energy up. Because, man, it's just been a lot of low negative energy in the world and things happening. You know, all of those people that were killed over in California, whether that's a false flag or not, the point is it happened. And even if it didn't really happen, the media portrayed it as if it did. And so it's going to have the same impact on your heart when you're watching the news as if it did happen. So it still happened. And that's just so horrible. And we need positive vibes. A Morpheus Revolution in Amsterdam. Shout out to you. I love it. You're in Amsterdam. Definitely got to visit there. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. If I miss anybody, y'all, I'm sorry. It's like over 100 and something in here. So if I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll catch you next time. My goodness. Y'all show up tonight. I just love it. So, Ernest he has the video, and we're going to play the video for you all. I almost got to memorize the whole interview. You need some help?
I'm almost at the place.
Okay. So, he getting ready to put the Jay-Z interview on, and you can tell Jay-Z been doing soul work to be able to vibrate from a place of love and compassion. You can hear it, and you all just let us know what you hear. And
that's the reason why we have a new
exactly
found respect for
that. We have a newfound respect for him after watching this interview.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, I know a lot of people are like, man, I don't want anything to do with celebrities because they're into a lot of demonic, satanic stuff, and they sold their souls, this, that, and the other. But I just want to say, heavy is the
money,
head.
that gets a little more
and
conservative.
So a lot of
does having money not?
A lot of celebrities, their life is man. I couldn't even imagine being Kanye or Kim. Or let's pick a celebrity who you think character is good. You know, I still couldn't imagine. That's a lot of stress. To have so many people you have to pay, and so many people in your life telling you what you need to do, where you need to do it, when you need to be there. You got a car pick you up, take you here, take you there. You got the nanny to get this kid and that. I mean, our lives get hectic, and we're just normal people.
Exactly.
And so, for me, celebrities are the ultimate portal for us to get a snapshot of what's happening in our age. And so that's why it's good to study history. And some people in history were famous. They were considered celebrities. And we study them to learn from it. So we don't have to wait till people die to get something from wherever their soul has agreed to do what it's doing. Right. Whether we agree with it or understand it or not, there's always something there that can benefit you. But again, coming out of religion, coming into true spirituality, we're learning how to not lead from a judgmental condemnation place, but to lead with an open heart and to say, this soul may have experienced something that may help me. And it can be something that may help me 10 years from now. I might have a child who has such a beautiful voice that they become famous, and all of a sudden I'm in the same world that I demonized.
Exactly.
And you're able to reach back and say, you know what, I remember that interview he did. That might help me in what my child is dealing with in this industry right now.
That's right.
Life happens like that, people.
That's right. That's right.
So just, lead with your heart. And it's okay to judge people by their fruits. That's okay. We're not saying not to discern people by their fruits, but lead with your heart.
Yeah.
Okay?
But, and I'm going to say this too, most of the time the only thing that we know, I mean, there are people who may be close to these individuals and connected to them, and they're only able to see one side of them. No one's always able to see you 24 hours a day.
We can't see ourselves 24 hours a day.
Days a year.
We got parts of ourselves that we just met tonight doing the questions.
Exactly. And so for us, like Cam saying, for us to pass judgment on something is really premature. It's and you can end up putting your foot in your mouth, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because like you'll hear in his interview, And I don't think he was putting on for the interview. We felt that his responses were genuine. You know what I'm saying? We do know that their relationship has been through the fire. It has definitely met all of the challenges that most people's relationships have at time to time. And with them being so big and almost like at the pinnacle of their careers as far as it goes, as well as financially, to see them stick with each other, to see them go through that, and you know what I'm saying, almost like recreate themselves, recreate their relationship. You know what I'm saying? It's
some lessons in there.
Yeah, you can learn a lot. So we're gonna let it play. You want to slide over?
Okay.
No, no, because I'm not. I believe in people. You know, I want what's best for people. I love people. You know, so I don't have that sort of thing like I want to vote Republican just to save more money.
Right.
That's not the end game. It's not about who got more money and who got more houses. Yes, you know, you've earned it. Buy what you want.
Right.
You know, but don't forget what's important. Without people, and being rich would be very boring.
Right.
No one to share, no one to have. You know what I mean? Like, just be rich person, one person on the planet. Just well, then what do you do?
When I heard this latest album, and then I thought about the earlier albums, one theme was sort of reaching the promised land. You know, you've acquired influence, and not just money, but your life is good. And then when you listen to the newest album, you're thinking, he must have been in a lot of pain when life was good.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Yeah, I did this to a song called Song Cry. And the idea of the hook, never seen it coming down my eyes, but I gotta make the song cry. It tells you right there what I was hiding. The strongest thing a man can do is cry. To expose your feelings, to be vulnerable in front of the world. That's real strength. You know, you feel like you gotta be this guarded person. That's not real. It's fake.
Does that mean you were unhappy during that period and didn't have a handle on it, or what?
Well, you compartmentalize, right? So you can be inside your body and be happy, but at the core of it, something else is going on.
Right. As a parent, I thought one of the most painful scene or line or whatever in the album was when you are talking about having almost lost your marriage, and you talk about what it would have been like to watch another man play football with your kid. I thought that is like, given that you have talked so much about your life and your music, are there things that you put a wall around? I'm not going to talk about that. You've talked about the pain of growing up, where you grew up, how you grew up, you know, your father leaving early, the pain of your marriage, being in therapy. Are there things you say, I'm not going there?
Yeah, and it mostly involves other people, because when other people are involved, you have to also, you may be ready to expose these things, and there's certain parts of, you know, it's also other people's truth as well. A perfect example is my mom.
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
And
when
I didn't have permission to do that song first. So just like we had a beautiful conversation.
When did you realize your mother was gay?
Really early on.
Like as a little kid?
No. Let's say call it teenage years. And
so you realized it and talked to her about it? What was that?
We never spoke about it. It just exists. It was there. Everyone knew.
Gotcha.
But we never spoke about it until, like, recently. Now we start having these beautiful conversations and just really like getting to know each other. We were always good friends, but now we're like really great friends, you know. And we were just talking as friends, and then she was sharing that she was in love. And I guess there's years of like feeling for her and feeling like she's free. She can be herself. She doesn't have to hide for her kids or be feeling she's embarrassing her kids. It was a much different time then. Don't just think about.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah. She can just live her full life, her whole life, and be her.
Will this get harder over time? Like, you know, as a young man, your music was the way a lot of young rappers are. It's like, you know, the violent life, You know, if that's chapter 1 of the autobiography, chapter 2 of the autobiography, I'm oversimplifying this, is like, now I'm really rich, I have a lot of stuff, let me tell you how cool that is. And then chapter 3 of the autobiography is, oh my God, I'm like running myself into the ground. What's
chapter 3 is, oh my goodness, oh, the most beautiful things are not these objects. The most beautiful things are inside. The most beautiful things are the friendships I have really like golden friendships that you know, most people don't have. You can have all the watches and paintings in the world. You don't have a friend like friends like I have. The friendships I've acquired and the compassion and the person I've become. Like that's what this chapter is. You know, and the conversations with my mom. Those are the real enriching experiences.
Will you have the same adventures in your life? Will you have the same stuff to write about? Or maybe you don't know.
I think that rap in particular is a young man's sport, that I'll move out of that white hot space. But rap is about the gift of discovery. To be the cool person in school, you have to know the newest music, the newest dance move, have the newest clothing on. So rap is based on that. What's new? What do you, I know you know Jay-Z is good, but do you know this song right here that only 4 people heard it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they bring that person into the masses of pop culture, and then you have a window before saying that you are the one is no longer cool. And then you have to move past that. And you have to find a way to exist. The white hot space is when it's fresh and new, and it's like, this is the hottest song ever.
Right.
I mean, I pushed the window like...
You
really,
still,
I stressed that.
in that space.
Oh, I stood in that window a really long time.
Are you still in there?
But still, no. I don't think people are looking to me as like the thing.
Is that hard to deal with, or did you feel like I'm okay with that because I've moved on?
No.
You don't want to.
Because at the end of the day, we're gonna find out it's not about the white hot space, but it's about finding the truth. That white hot space, people think is the biggest thing, but it's really small. It's almost like a trend. Will you rather be a trend, or you rather be Ralph Lauren?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you rather be a trend, or you rather be forever. I'm the person that looked at the Mona Lisa and be like, man, that's gonna be cool in 40 years.
Right.
Right? I play forever.
Right.
I play forever. And so my whole thing is to identify with the truth, not to be the youngest, hottest, new, trendy thing.
One of the things you rap about also is the pain you caused the people you sold drugs to. Have you ever had conversations with people like that you caused pain to as a young man and talked about?
No, I haven't. No.
What would you say to them? Or is that impossible to do at this point?
Oh, I mean, nothing's impossible, right? So no, I don't think it's impossible. I guess that conversation would definitely take ownership for my part in you know, the part I played in occupying that space. Because knowing what I know now, you know, you can't sacrifice others for your life. You know, there's a karmic debt that has to be paid. Had I had the level of consciousness then that I have now, things would have turned out differently. And just knowing that, I definitely want everyone to know that.
Do black artists have a different obligation than white artists? Do you feel you have it for it?
Section.
Okay.
So okay, y'all. So we hope y'all was
able to gather something from that little,
some tidbits.
Yeah.
And as you can go and watch this full thing yourself, Jay-Z and Dean Banquet in conversation. We recommend you watch the whole thing. A portion that we didn't show because we don't want to take up too much more of your time, but a portion of it, he also talked about the compassion that he's wanted to teach to his children.
Right.
Because his question was, well, you had to survive by hustling and selling drugs and rapping and doing this and doing that. How do you teach your children? How do you raise your children? Do you teach them those same tools that were needed for you to get to where you are? And he's like, it's not necessary.
Right.
The space that I have created for them, they're protected from that. It's a totally different space.
Right.
But what I am teaching them, the main tool to be able to be guided through anything is compassion.
Yeah.
And that was just to hear this man who we've got to see publicly him go through his transformations. And for those of you who might still be a little dogmatic towards him and other celebrities, just think, if your most secret things were open for the whole world to see, would you have any similarities? Would there ever be times that you, like the last time you were not compassionate? What if that was seen publicly? That's what they deal with.
It would make you look like you was the worst person ever.
But deep inside the core of you, as he said, because we are fragmented, but deep inside the core is a whole other person that was in there when you did that uncompassionate thing. And so 5D, leaving 3D way of thinking and behaving and living, going into 4D, into 5D, it's about us releasing all of that. And it's just being in the flow of forgiveness. Just forgiveness. It ain't even available if you do something. I just live out of that place. So nothing nobody do from this point forward is going to stick to me in a way that it's going to cause me to cause hurt to someone else.
That's right.
Because I'm like water.
That's right.
I just let it flow right through me. I'm like air. I just let the leaf blow out from my shoulder. There's no chip on my shoulder. Because I move like air. I'm not dense. I just flow. I'm like the eagle. And I don't have to use a lot of energy. Once I catch that vibration, then I just soar and save my energy. So you're not going to be getting in arguments and getting upset, and you're going to find yourself doing less of that because the vibrations are changing. The frequency is getting higher. And so we can see that this is happening to this man as well. And I would say that he's probably one of the most demonized people that we know of in our time.
Yeah, we was on the opposite end of that one.
Yeah. So again, so much more we could say to you, so much more. One thing that I want to share, I think I added this picture at the very bottom. Okay. Yeah. While he's putting that picture up there, it has a mantra on it. It may look backwards to you all since we have the camera facing us. So we're going to read it to you. And we can also put this on the blog if you need to. But it's short. You'll be able to memorize this. But you can repeat this. Remember, you do the forgiveness thing. And you're going to insert the name and repeat it 11 times after we're done in your private time. And release whatever it is you need to release that may be impacting your life in a negative way and the lives of others. For the access to the abundance in this time and being able to use this energy, this is a mantra that I found and it resonated very, very much with me. And I was directed by my guides and by Source, the creator of all things, to share this with you all. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. The power of that, I had a little resistance to the word lavish because I was like, but he's just saying, if it's nice, I have prosperity, abundance, I have everything that I need and something I can share with others. So if you have really nice things, you're able to share really nice things.
That's right.
So it's okay to access lavish things. And this is to do harm to none. Because again, he says lavish, steady, dependable income. This allows you, if you have a desire to open a home for homeless women, you know what I'm saying? Accessing this abundance is going to allow you to do that.
That's right.
And unfortunately, we're in a time where we need that. We're in a time where we need to have money, which is currency, to do these things. So it's great to have a consistent, lavish, steady income, and that income is consistent with your integrity, meaning you're not having to do something that is below your integrity to get the money. And that the benefit of what the currency that you're receiving, that the benefit is mutual, so that it's causing no harm to anybody, and that it's beneficial all the way around. I think that's a great thing for us to vibrate on, and there it is, for us to vibrate on and for us to think about. And so we're gonna, okay, here it is right here. It's not gonna play. Okay, so there it is. If y'all want to take a screenshot of that, repeat this 11 times, and you might already have a lavish, steady, dependable income, and if that's true, that's great. Income is just currency, so that can be love. That can be in a lot of different forms, you know, just abundance in your health, many different forms. So if you need to change this a little bit to fit what you're trying to manifest and what you desire, that's okay too. But for us, this definitely resonated, because there are things we would like to do, and right now we physically have not manifested enough money to do it, but we're believing that we're going to be able to do that.
Oh yes, our intent.
And you all are as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we want to definitely also show you all some of the products that we have, some of the creations we've made, as well as just some of the crystal stones that we've collected.
Okay. That's fine. Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying? How to go back to the camera.
Give us 1 second so we can show you all this.
Oh, you
Whichever
hit the
one
top.
it was.
You gotta hit the top.